streaming harder than a real job? Bro, what?
Streaming is harder than a 9 to 5. If you're a fake asshole and you need to act all day. Listen. You're probably thinking, hey dickhead, didn't you make a video on this topic already?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. But we're running this shit back like a relay. But before you shoot me for selling out just because the topic is popping up once again, the last video was more so me playing devil's advocate on both sides and then giving my personal opinion. If you're interested, go and watch it. If not, then I don't know. Watch Minecraft parkour or something. Anything to quench that attention span of yours.
StaticTokyo.
In this video, we're gonna go over other people's points, and I'm low-key kinda sorta gonna clown on them. Alright, first off, I want to give my opinion. And remember, everyone is entitled to their own. Even though I will clown and give retorts to some people's perspectives, I still respect theirs. But is streaming harder than a 9 to 5? Or is content creation, a more broad term I know, harder than a 9 to 5? In my opinion, hell no. The more nuanced answer depends on what you as an individual wants to do, I suppose. However, please be aware that I am biased because I've never worked a 9 to 5 or a part-time job. Content creation is the first thing that has given me my first check, and I'm privileged that it turned out this way. However, I have my reasons as to why I actively choose to take content creation seriously and even been taking streaming more seriously. Bro, why me? Follow me on Twitch, by the way. I know, I'm a dickhead, shameless plug. But I digress. Let's get into the first opinion.
You can't have an opinion on that unless you actually worked a real job and you actually stream. If you didn't do both, you can't have an opinion, bro.
I don't completely agree with that because anybody that has any sort of observational skills and the ability to make their own thoughts beyond just what they see surface level and can try to put themselves in someone else's shoes can make an opinion and speak on it. Even if it might not be spot on, it can still be thoughtful if conveyed properly. For example, I never worked a normal job, but I have friends that do and tell me about it. I have family that works normal jobs, and I see the effects and I hear the stories, good and bad. And I still hear and see the stories. When I think about me in their shoes and I compare it to what I'm doing now, I'm chilling. Hard, crazy. Even though, like most content creators, I feel like eating glass sometimes.
That's just the truth. When I worked, dude, chat, I used to work one of the hardest jobs on planet Earth, bro.
Proceeds to say he worked one of the hardest jobs on planet Earth? Which, I mean, if you're out there doing like Alaskan crab fishing or flying planes or handling explosives, sure.
I was working hard, bro. Like, it took a lot of mind power and brain power and a lot of time, bro. Like, it was a really, really difficult job, bro. I had to do a lot of shit.
Was this nigga James Bond? What job was it? He didn't even tell us the job. What are you gatekeeping, sir? CIA? Like, what is that? Alright, I'm being a dickhead. Let me calm down.
And streaming is still harder, bro. If you go to work, once 5 p.m. hits, you don't have to think about that shit at all. You could go home, golf for 20 hours before you clock back in, and you're good, bro.
You can technically do the same shit with content creation and streaming if you wanted to, but I'll get into that later.
Having to constantly see a million times a day people talking about you, people saying shit, people doing this, people doing that, you don't have to deal with that with a normal fucking job. You don't. On God, you don't. Like, if fucking Kevin Hart said making movies is harder than a 9 to 5, nobody would give a fuck.
Y'all niggas can't be for real.
Now, he argues that with streaming, you constantly have to see people talking about you and saying shit, and this can be the case if you're constantly online. Now, I'm not a big content creator or streamer, but I have had an experience where people didn't like my ass, basically, and still don't, probably. And let me tell you, they try to make it very, very clear how much they didn't like me. You know what I do when I keep seeing it and it's starting to affect my mental? I closed social media. I turned it off, ate pizza, and watched anime. It was a great time. With streaming, you can turn it off at any time. You're the boss. If you're at your job and it gets too much, if you're on the clock, damn, tough luck, buddy, thug it out. Some may say that since you have to check analytics and numbers, you may end up tying your self-worth to that number. I'm gonna keep it real. Me and a lot of other content creators I've talked to personally purposely tries to not look at their numbers too much to avoid that from happening. After you stream, you can literally go do anything else, just like a normal job. Maybe have a private social media account so you don't see fuck shit. Like, very simple things you can do. His point is a bit wobbly, moving weird, if you get what I'm saying, because this is such an easy thing to avoid. You can indeed stream and then go crank it for 20 hours if you want to. And that's not to say that grinding for content creation and streaming isn't involved. I spent weeks, sometimes even months, working on content stuff non-stop, but I know that I choose to do that. So I don't agree with this one, basically. Next clip.
Understand what I'm saying? Being like a streamer or any face on the internet is harder than a 9-to-5 in certain ways because...
Okay, before I pick this apart, I want to give them credit because they did say harder in certain ways. Now, obviously, this depends on the 9-to-5, but I think I can agree.
You got me.
But if you're a top streamer, like Pokimane,
Like if you're a broke boy, just say so.
Hi,
How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to Mickey D's.
Iron Mouse, those niggas, not me.
I'm just a cameraman.
So again, take my words with a grain of salt because I'm not there yet.
it fuck you up mentally. Now, waking up every day and go to a job and lifting boxes, like depending on what you're doing, that's just tough too. That shit is hard. That shit is very hard. That shit is very hard. It's very hard.
Guys, I think that shit is very hard. Okay, no, I'm sorry, I'm being a dickhead.
Like, you feel me? Especially when you're doing a job you don't enjoy doing. That shit is tough. That shit will fuck with your mental. You might want to, you feel me? You might be tired of it. You might be unhappy. But being a face, like being a top streamer, is difficult because of all the shit you go through in terms of like living life. I promise. I'm telling you, gang. You are literally seeing thousands of niggas give their thoughts on you every second. That's not supposed to be. Like, no human brain normally should be able to tolerate that. Just keep it a buck. It's not true.
I would agree that content creation is mentally harder than a 9-to-5 in certain aspects, but just like what I said for the previous one, you don't have to see people talk about you every second if you don't want to. You can simply just not go on social media. Or have a private account, like I said last time, and just be sneaky on that shit, so it's not attached to your job. Would you have to do that with a 9-to-5? No, but I don't think just having a separate account for content creation and streaming and another for like an analytical detox, if you will, and just to vibe on that nobody knows about, that's not an exactly hard thing to do. Now, will some things slip through from time to time? Yeah, but you aren't going to be blasted with things 24/7 unless you allow yourself to. In my opinion. Remember, feel free to share your own. Hey, you see these list of people? They get to see all my videos a few days earlier, like a day or two early or some shit. It's like $3 a month, I think. Become a member. Okay, cool. I don't know. I'm not good at ads.
Hold on. Where you going, little motherfucker? I'm gonna eat you. I'm gonna eat your bitch ass. Oh, don't run from me. How I eat this one? Come on, let's continue.
Oh hey, it's StaticTokyo.
Next clip.
Is streaming a harder job than having a 9-to-5?
I may get canceled, but I think it depends on the 9-to-5. From my certain experiences, right? Like being like a 20-year-old kid and I worked 2 or 3 part-time jobs. It wasn't like hard. It just took time. Like I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings. I didn't have a break, and I would work from like 4 and basically whenever they cut me. Like being a doctor or dealing with people's lives is a lot, or also being like a blue-collar job, like construction and stuff, is insane. Content creation, bro, you're your own boss.
Being your own boss is completely accurate, and I like this take a lot because it's more so talking about creators that are still grinding, basically, like not at the point where they can sit and do nothing and be good. But let's continue the clip. Let them finish.
24/7. You don't post, you don't make money. You don't stream, you don't make money. You take a break. If you're not at that certain point where you're making money constantly, you're done. I basically work 14 hours a day almost. Like I wake up, brush my teeth, I'm sitting in my chair, editing, coming up with video ideas, editing video ideas, then going streaming for 8 to 10 hours just to do it all over again. So it's just like, the job's not easy. It's just, when you're at a certain point, it's so fun and it looks fun. So it's like, that's easy. Everybody can do that. But it's like, bro, like not everybody woke up, posted a video, had a meal, or had like 5,000 viewers when they started streaming. They had 1.
Sensational.
This one is probably the best clip, to be honest, because I will say content creation and streaming is the hardest when you are just starting.
You ain't never getting out the hood.
Like trying to get content creation and streaming to the point where it's supporting you completely, it's definitely a grind. Whereas when you get to a point where you're able to just not do anything and still have constant income, that's where I think it starts being easier. Obviously new challenges arises, but you know, I would still say that a 9-to-5 is harder, just off the fact that with content and streaming, you are your own boss, you set your own hours. But I really like the way he voiced his opinions here. Next clip.
bro got to fly to Japan and is complaining about his job. Bro, here's the thing that you don't understand. You guys act like, oh, my job is so easy, streaming is so easy, oh, you get to do all this cool stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Going to Japan does sound like fun. Not gonna lie to you.
Here's the thing. I genuinely think that streaming is harder than an actual job. And I'm gonna tell you why right now. Go ahead and laugh at me. Go ahead and laugh. I'm gonna tell you right now why streaming is harder than a normal job.
Go ahead and tell us, FaZe Clan member Lacey, what you got going.
Tell me it's not harder to have to fly 17 hours all the way out to Japan, have jet lag, be tired. Then when you get here, you have to walk around in the hot sun, 100 degrees out, sun beating down on you, you're sweating, you're tired, you're hungry, and then you have to stream yourself like shopping for clothes and going shopping for like 6-8 hours a day, bro.
Okay, before I go on, why is his lip doing that? Why you hitting the iShow speed shit?
Are you
serious right now
bro?
Head ass lip. What the fuck is up? Sorry, I shouldn't be. Just carry on.
Like, that's genuinely hard compared to working a normal job where you just go in for like 6 hours every day, because normal jobs work, what, 30-hour weeks, 6 hours a day, five days a week, 30 hours, and then you have the weekends off. Like, you guys have to understand, it's way harder to stream. And
First off, let's applaud this man for doing simple multiplication. And secondly, this is probably the most privileged shit I've ever heard. Not gonna lie. So, bro is saying that going to Japan and then walking around to shop while streaming is hard.
Is this nigga serious or what?
Because you are tired and hungry. You chose to do that. Like I said earlier, over and over and over again. You are the boss. You are telling me that you couldn't have hopped off the plane, go your sleepy ass to a hotel, take a nap, or just sleep on the plane. Like, you could have rested up a little bit before the stream. But no, you didn't. That's on you. And then, the hungry one doesn't even check out. You are shopping for clothes. For clothes. Nigga, if you don't hit up a 7-Eleven, bro, it's Japan. They got hella stuff. That makes my American ass jealous. Hit up a 7-Eleven. But this guy is the same guy that said that mailman makes $2,000 a day, when complaining that he doesn't make the 10,000 wow off of ad revenue anymore.
And my ad revenue went from $10,000 plus at some points per day to now like $2,000 a day. If I want to make $2,000 a day, I'll go be a fucking mailman.
Womp womp. Should have lowered my expectations a bit. That's on me. Fuck, dude. Okay, that was a bit harsh. I apologize for that. That was mean. I'm sorry for my attitude on that one. And yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna show for today. I kind of think that these two were clip farmy a bit, but what do I know? More of the story of, I don't think that streaming or content creation is harder than a 9-to-5. And a lot of bigger content creators think the same. There are aspects that present different challenges and requires different skill sets, like any job. And this isn't to say streaming and content creation is easy or something to look down upon. It's just not harder than a 9-to-5. Overall, I would rather sit and do what I love with my people, which is y'all. No parasocial shit though. That's us. Then work a 9-to-5. Even though kind of dude, we're having a good time. I'm not gonna lie, they made that shit look fun. Maybe I do it. Maybe for a week, make a video out of it. I don't know. It's probably a dumb idea. I'm not gonna do that.